So let's talk about beating the heat.
Yes.
Right now, I'll just give you a couple of scenarios. My dog at home, and I'm sure your dog as well, and I'm not going to say the cat, but especially the dog, he is sleeping on tiles. So he sleeps in the bathroom every night.
Yep.
So is that common? I mean,
Very common.
Okay.
My golden retriever used to do that, seeking cool. There are a lot of dogs who will actually sleep behind the toilet bowl because, the cold running water.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah,
His head goes
behind the toilet bowl and on the tile. They love tile.
And then when Deborah goes in or someone goes in to go to the washroom, he will not move. And so you have to move around him and sit there and be like, you sure you want to be in here, Bal? He's like, I ain't moving.
Well, retrievers actually have a lot of problems with the heat, I find. That's one breed that I know. I'll tell you what I did with my golden retriever when she got older is I shaved her down to make her look like a Labrador retriever during the summer months. And I'm going to tell you what a huge difference that made.
But what do you do with the Labrador?
Labrador, he's already, it's essentially a matter of, I don't think we realize it, even though his fur is short, he still feels a lot more heat than we would.
So should
per
I,
se.
in my scenario, should I just brush him a lot more? Or?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's just a matter of you've got the air on. That's excellent. And when you take him out, just realize it. What I think the biggest mistake people make in the summertime with their pets is they exercise them just as much as they did in the wintertime. And I think that, yes, they should exercise, but maybe a little less running around. And they never have enough water for them. That's, you know what I mean? Like they get dehydrated and dogs don't stop and think, ooh, I should drink right now. So you almost, I hate to say it, have to think for your dog. So if you're taking your dog out for a long walk and it's really, really hot, please take water with you. We did that. We took our two dogs to Center Island. It was a hot day. And I'll tell you, they drank and drank and drank and drank. And I'm glad they did, because if they hadn't, one of them for sure would have gotten heat stroke. I was feeling the heat, so why wouldn't they?
So what's a sign of heat stroke for an animal?
Well, a lot of times they'll start to really heavily pant, and to the point where they start to go from a heavy pant to a shallow type pant because they're literally getting dizzy. So they'll just drop. So lack of activity, they'll stop. They'll sometimes lay down, or they'll seek places where it's colder. So those kind of things are sort of the first signs, and sort of a little uneasiness or dizziness. That's probably the first sign that you're going to see when they start to get heat stroke. But hopefully they won't get to that stage. And if you do see your dog starting to feel the effects, what I would do is, instead of like dousing them with freezing cold water, I would take a towel and put water on the towel and then just soak the towel over top of the dog. We had a cat come in the other day with heat stroke, and that's the first thing we ran. We got a towel and put it under ice cold water. Well, not ice cold water, fairly cold water, and then just put the towel on the cat. And the best places to keep them cool is their face, their groin, and their chest. Those are the places where they give off the most heat, or they're more susceptible.
Is this a perfect time of year to give them baths outside and showers outside?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, using the regular garden hose and stuff like that. Sure, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Keeping them cool. I mean, we have, to tell you the truth, in our backyard, there's a little pool for the dog, and like one of those just little kids pools.
You live
in
in a mansion or something?
No, it's a little.
He's got the cottage, the mansion.
It's like, dude, it's 2 feet wide. It's like $9.99 at Canadian Tire.
I don't even have 1 feet wide. Okay, my bathtub is smaller than that. Okay. Come on.
So anyway, the dogs if they can soak their feet in it. That's why if your dog is really having heat stroke, what we do here is we tend to put alcohol in their paws, and that cools them down a lot. They lose a lot, and you said it before, right? They lose a lot of heat through their paws. You remember you said they don't sweat, but they lose a lot of heat through their paws.
So we have.
So shaving dogs. By the way, just going on to the shaving. If you do shave your pet, just realize, especially if they've got white skin, that now they're prone to sunburn. So just be careful. Like when I shaved my golden retriever down, she was fairly dark type golden retriever. But some dogs, if you shave them down, all of a sudden you take their protection away from the sun. So
is there
just
dog
realize
screen,
that.
like sunscreen?
No, you can use regular sunscreen on dogs.
Yeah,
you can.
Okay, next tip for what about a cat?
What about a cat? I mean, same thing. I find that cats can handle the heat better than dogs can. Not to say that I would ever leave a cat in a car or do any of the things that we mentioned, but they seem to be able to handle the heat. Like even when I don't have a cat per se, but when I speak to my clients who have dogs and cats, they all agree that the dogs can have a tougher time handling the heat than the cats. I mean, be all the same thing. Just make sure they have provide them with water and a cool place to go. So if there's, but have you not seen your cat literally in the middle of the summertime sit on the windowsill in the blistering heat with the sun right on them? I don't know. Cats seem to like heat.
Yeah, my cat's
weird.
crazy.
that way.
Yeah, well,
They are definitely more used to heat than dogs are, for sure.
Yeah,
And it's also species differences too, right? Because
Yeah,
there's
of
certain
course.
dogs that come, like I'm going to tell you, Huskies do horrible in the summertime.
Well, of course.
Horrible.
Look how big and how much
Yeah.
fur they have.
Yeah,
You know?
and they're used to Arctic temperatures, so yeah, those are a type of breed that do really poorly. And you know who else has trouble in the summer times are these brachycephalic breeds, the squishy nosed dogs like pugs and bulldogs and Boston Terriers, because they can't breathe as well.
Wow.
So, and you have to be careful about pets that have diseases like heart disease or respiratory disease. They'll also have a tough time in the summertime, just like we would.